Hi dear friends, this is Manish and today in this video lecture we are going to discuss about the Alexander Pope, a prominent figure of English literature and a favorite topic of UGC NET. Frequently the MCQ questions are asked from Alexander Pope, so we are going to discuss about the one-liner short facts. One-liner facts in a short period of time. We are going to discuss about Alexander Pope today. So Alexander Pope, when it comes to the time span of him, he was from 1688 to 1744, a prominent figure. He was an 18th century poet and he was best known for his satirical verse as well as his translation of Homer. We need to pay attention with the same that he was famous for his satires and he was famous for his translation of Homer. He is famous for using heroic couplet, guys. When it comes to term of literary term, I think he is famous for using heroic couplet. The next fact is he is the second most frequently quoted writer in the Oxford Dictionary of Quotation after Shakespeare. It means his quotes are very famous and his quotes are adopted and used by Oxford Dictionary after Shakespeare. Shakespeare is the first one and second is Alexander Pope, and we are also going to discuss about his quotes in the at the last of this lecture. So Pope was born to Alexander Pope Sr. His father was Alexander Pope Sr. and he was a linen merchant. Linen was a kind of fabric, we can say. He was a Catholic, and just because of being Catholic he faced a lot of adversities and problems. He was a Catholic, so his education was affected. Actually there was a law in England that time that was called Test Acts, where there were some limitation for Catholic people who used to just have faith in Catholics. So the people could not just go to the school after a certain period of time, and they could not join the universities, which upheld the status of establishment Church of England. Actually it is for that time the Anglican and the Protestant church, and I think those were in the trend. So Catholics were just facing problem that time, and banned Catholics from teaching, attending a university, voting, holding public offices. Okay, so these were the problems with the Catholic people that time. Initially he was taught by his aunt. You people need to know all these things, and later went to Catholic schools. So his initial studies were done with his aunt, and after then he was sent to the Catholic school. In 1700, guys, in 1700 his family moved to Popswood because of strong anti-Catholic sentiments and statue preventing Catholics. Actually there was a kind of a statue, and surrounding of that statue, the people could not leave that time. It was about, I think, 10 mile and 16 kilometer, I think it is written like 16 kilometer. So, and just because of that thing he moved, and it was implemented in London and Westminster, I think. Yeah, Westminster, yeah, this one. So a statue preventing Catholic from living within 10 miles. The people were not allowed to live within a 10 miles of a particular statue of either London or Westminster. Pope described the countryside around his house. Pope described किया उन्होंने countryside, remote area around his house, Windsor Forest. Okay, क्या इसको describe किया उन्होंने as a Windsor Forest. He educated himself by reading Horace, Juvenal, the epic poets Homer, Virgil, and English authors as a Chaucer, Shakespeare and Dryden. So he actually, we need to understand, he just studied Horace, Juvenal, and the epic poets Homer, Virgil, and English authors. All legends were just studied by him, whether those were Italian or English. Chaucer, Shakespeare, and John Dryden. Geoffrey Chaucer. Pope had close attachment with the Lady Mary Wortley Montague. Actually there was a lady who used to whom he used to like and have just kind of compassion for her, love for her, and also had lifelong relationship with a lady, that is a Martha Blount. The translation of Homer brought Pope financially independence. Since he just you translated Homer, and he just became financially independent. Okay, the work which gave him money. The translation of Homer brought Pope a financial independence and became the first professional poet. So it could be asked which work, after which work he became a professional poet. So the translation of Homer, and which gave financially freedom to the Pope, that is the translation of Homer. His famous work, The Rape of Lock. Is dedicated to John Carroll. So we need to understand this question could be asked, such kind of questions could be asked. The Rape of Lock of Alexander Pope is dedicated to, that is the John Carroll. The first major work of Pope is the Pastorals. What is the first major work of Pope? That is the Pastorals. Okay, we need to understand. We need to just keep them into our mind. He was removed from the society as he was a Catholic. So just because of his religion, he was thrown away from the society. In May 1709, Pope's Pastoral was published in 6 parts of Tonson's Poetical Miscellanies. Okay, so in 1709, Pope's Pastoral was published in 6 parts of Tonson's Poetical Miscellanies when he was only 16 years old. So we need to understand this thing. We need to just put up the light over this fact, guys, and just it could be that it's a kind of prominent fact that he was only 16 years old and his work was published in Tonson's Poetical Miscellanies, and the name of that was Pope's Pastorals in 1709. So all these 3 things have to be in your mind. May 709, Pope's Pastoral, the name was Pope's Pastoral, in published in 6th part of Tonson's Poetical Miscellanies. In 1711, in the age of 17, he wrote essay on criticism. Okay, he wrote essay on criticism when he was only 17. Okay, when he was only 17, not 17, 9, 10, 11, I think 19. Okay, after like 9, 10, 11, 2 years after the first work. So in 1711 he wrote essay on criticism. Don't confuse with essay in criticism by Matthew Arnold. Okay, his friends were Tory writers, along with whom he formed Scribblers Club. Actually we need to, that Kit Kat Club and Scribbler clubs, there were 2 clubs that time. In 1713, so the member of those and the friend of him was John Gay. And I think the members are also needed to be known by us. His friends were Tory writers, along with whom he formed Scribblers Club. Actually there were 2 clubs, Kit Kat Club, who used to support that Kings, and the Scribblers Club, which used to support the Whigs, the Parliament. So Jonathan Swift, Scribblers, the member of Scribblers Club, that is Jonathan Swift, Thomas Parnell, and John R. Arbuthnot. The aim of the club was satirize ignorance and pedantry in the form of fictional scholar Martinus Scribblers. He also made friendship with Whig writer. Okay, Whig writer it means we people who used to support the Parliament. Okay, the writer who used to support Parliament. He also made friendship with Whig writers Addison and Steele. He translated Iliad of Homer, the very famous work of Homer, that is Iliad. Jonathan Swift called Pope as a paper saving Pope. Okay, it's a very prominent fact, guys. Okay, who called Pope as a paper saving Pope? Because he used to write a 50 lines work, he could just like make it worthy within a 2 lines. He has many quotes in the same way. So Pope could fix in one couplet more sense than I can do in six, by Dr. Johnson. So you people also just need to pay attention that Jonathan Swift said about Alexander Pope that he is a paper saving Pope. तो जोनाथन ने कहा है पेपर सेविंग पोप, उसी तरह से पोप could fix in one couplet more sense than I in a single couplet. Dr. Samuel Johnson is saying that Pope is a person, the magical person who can just like fix Pope could fix the one couplet more sense than I can do in six. So it is said by Dr. Johnson. He has written a pamphlet. Pope has written a pamphlet on Shakespeare's called Shakespeare's Restored. Okay, on Shakespeare's called Shakespeare Restored. So that was the pamphlet of Alexander Pope. So guys, there are some prominent tracks which are just like discussed by us today in this lecture. I hope you have just like you like this lecture, and these all facts are going to be worthy for you. So see you in the next video lecture with the different work of the Alexander Pope, like Rap of Log. So soon we are just going to meet again.